Hello and welcome to Eyes on the Prize. My name's Rachel and I'm an outreach officer at Anglia Ruskin University. Eyes on the Prize is being hosted slightly differently this year. What we're used to is hosting thousands of Year 8s and 9s at our campuses, but unfortunately we weren't able to do that this year. I just want to take a moment to explain to you what Eyes on the Prize is and hopefully also what you'll learn by watching this video. So Eyes on the Prize is designed to support you with making your GCSE choices. You might be watching this video thinking, I've already made my GCSE choices. And if that's the case, then you'll be able to hear from some of the local providers that might be able to support you with making your choices in your future. So you'll get to hear from a local college, you'll get to hear from a local sixth form, local universities and also a local business. We're also really excited that we're able to show you around our campus, and you'll also get to hear from one of our current Anglia Ruskin students, and they'll be talking about what their life is like as a student and what they enjoy about being at Anglia Ruskin University. So without further ado, sit back, relax, enjoy, and I'll see you soon.
Hi everybody and welcome to your Eyes on the Prize event for today. My name is Amy and I'm a third year sociology student, and today me and the team are helping to deliver you a pre-recorded campus tour. So I really hope you enjoy it and I hope you have a good fun looking around the campus. Enjoy! Okay, so we're currently in the Helmore building, which is kind of one of the central buildings on campus. So you walk in, we've got the reception at the front, and then you've also got the street, which runs all along to the canteen area and all through to like the next buildings. Along the floor of the street, we have a really cool timeline, which shows how ARU started as kind of like the Cambridge School of Art and how it developed into the university that it is now. Here you'll be able to see Lab 026, which is the biggest lecture theatre that we have on campus. It has around 400 seats, and obviously when things are a little bit different, this would be filled with loads of students, and you'd have your lecturer at the front, which would deliver a 1 to 2 hour lecture on all your course content or your module content. Here is the iCentre, which is a really great place where students can get loads and loads of support, from money advice to student services, IT support, and loads of other great resources, and anything that you can really think of that you would need, you would go to the iCentre, and they're really, really helpful. So here you'll notice that we've entered the library. The library is made up of 3 floors. So students have access to nearly 250,000 items across the 3 libraries, so across like the different campuses, and nearly 300,000 online books and journals. Students can access the library till midnight. The library provides different styles of learning space for students, including bookable group study rooms or pods with large screens and PCs. This here is the Mumford Theatre. It's a student-focused venue and sits under the Cambridge School of Creative Industries. It also hosts an eclectic professional season of theatre, music and dance. The Mumford Theatre is a proud supporter of Dramatic Need, a creative arts charity that helps young people in Rwanda and South Africa. The largest stage in Cambridge City, which is for our drama and performing arts students, with 270 seats and an orchestra pit, and it houses free concerts on a Wednesday afternoon. It also has its very own box office. This here is the TV studio for our film, TV and media students. It has industry standard equipment from cameras to editing desks and different set designs. Along the corridor we have courses from the Cambridge School of Art, including digital media, graphic design and illustration. So in this really big space here is the Ruskin Gallery. The Ruskin building contains facilities for students in the Faculty of Arts, Humanities and Social Sciences, also providing the home to our Cambridge School of Art courses. As the camera pans round, you'll notice in the Ruskin Gallery it has a unique exhibition space where our Cambridge School of Art students as well as visiting artists can show off their work, and the digital gallery is the first of its kind in the UK. This area is also open to the general public, with exhibitions that are free that the students run, as well as degree shows that run every single year. Interestingly, Dave Gilmour and Syd Barrett from the band Pink Floyd studied at the Cambridge School of Art, and they also performed their first gig here. Facilities include individual working stations, a 3D design studio, textile rooms, graphic design and illustration studios. Photography darkrooms are below in the basement, and we are one of the only universities who have kept our analogue photography equipment. This building here is the Law Clinic. Law students gain real-life legal experience while studying here. In the Law Clinic, they work alongside practicing solicitors, offering free advice to the general public. So we have now arrived at the entrance of the Science Building. The new Science Centre is the largest single development on our Cambridge campus with a budget of £45 million. Students who would choose the Science Centre include biomedical science, crime and investigative studies, forensics, psychology and computing, and the animal behaviour, marine biology and zoology students will also use this space throughout their time. However, they have a large amount of lab space in the David building next door. Inside the Science Centre, we have a huge 200-seat multi-use laboratory available for all of the science students to use. Up to 4 classes can be held in the lab at one time by using a remote headsets to listen to the lecturer and watch demonstrations on the screens. Over half of the total area of the building is new laboratory space, and an entire floor is dedicated to the containment Level 2 laboratories, as well as a specialist super lab, crime scene rooms, dedicated psychology research labs, and pods for students undertaking their own research. Another feature of the Science Centre is the 300-seat lecture theatre. This lecture theatre will be similar to the one in Lab 026, where a lecturer will stand at the front and deliver a 1 to 2 hour lecture with information, but this is usually just used by the science students, so it's a dedicated space for them. As I said earlier, the Science Centre is home to some specialist crime scene rooms that the crime and investigative studies students will use. They imitate real life scenarios so that students will know what to expect when they go out into the field. This building we're going into now is the Lord Ashcroft building. It has some of our largest lecture theatres, classrooms, and houses our corporate suite for a number of events. It is home to our business and law faculty and has strong links to big businesses such as Barclays, Harrods, and UPS. The building is also named after our Chancellor, Lord Ashcroft, an alumni of the university. This area here is called the Lab Open Access area. So there's roughly about 250 PCs for independent study. There's also printers, scanners, and a help desk. As the camera pans around, you'll be able to see the massive range of computers that we have, where you can come and do group study or just study on your own. Students can use this area for 24 hours a day. And unlike some of the areas in the library, you don't have to be completely silent here. Obviously, you need to respect other people's workspaces, no screaming and shouting and things, but you are free to do group study and have a conversation here if you need to. So this space here is the Student Union, also known as the SU. This building is home to the Student Union offices and a student relaxation area. Absolutely everything that the Student Union does is led by students, for students. Students can volunteer, join a society, work for the Students' Union and have fun at evenings and events, and also get the Totem discount card, which is really good when you're a student and get as many discounts as you can. There are over 45 societies you can join, and some of the popular Student Union societies are cheerleading, law, Doctor Who, Tea Party and the Vegan Society, so there really is something for everyone. You can also get advice at the Student Union. They offer confidential, independent, impartial and free advice for all students. So no matter the worry, no matter the query, they should be able to help you out. Here you'll see the Helmore Gym, which is home to Team ARU. It only costs students £110 a year to join the gym, so it's really affordable. There are a huge range of sports clubs to join, such as archery, netball, basketball, volleyball, tennis, and a load more. These teams also compete in the Bucks, which are the British university and college sports, every Wednesday. Team ARU also offer a campus sport programme which includes fitness classes and turn up and play activities such as badminton, volleyball, five-a-side football and netball. These aren't necessarily to join the team, these are more fun, mess around classes, just to get a bit of exercise and to really enjoy yourself without having the commitment of joining the team. There are also sports scholarships for elite sports people. And as you might have seen on the ARU's website or the social media, Ruskin the Rhino is our famous mascot, which you will see around campus sometimes. Always make sure you say hello. This building here is known as Young Street and it's actually slightly off campus, about a 5-minute walk down the road from the main campus in Cambridge. It is home to our Faculty of Health, Education, Medicine and Social Care, so courses such as nursing, midwifery, paramedic science and operating department practice courses will all study here. We have a range of clinical skills facilities on site here, including mock hospital wards, a midwifery unit, operating theatre and rooms that can be adapted to mirror emergency situations. So as you can see as the camera pans round in all these different areas, they simulate the real world. So when the students go out and actually work in the hospitals and other medical areas, they'll know exactly what to expect and how to treat the patients. There are a number of classrooms and a 198-seat lecture theatre, and the building also contains a small cafeteria with plenty of social areas. This building here, known as Compass House, is roughly a 5-minute walk away from the main campus, but is still part of ARU. It holds state-of-the-art facilities used by the Faculty of Science and Engineering. It includes two new lecture theatres, a computer gaming studios, recording studio suites and labs for computer science, digital systems design, video and AV. It also houses a range of recording and mixing equipment which is of a high professional standard, including a £16,000 speaker system, so it really has all the high tech that you need for these courses. House is also the home of our sports and exercise courses. We have a sports therapy and rehab clinic, performance laboratory and strength and conditioning suite. So that's the tour. Thank you so much for attending and I really hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully this little slice of ARU can show you what studying at university might be like and maybe something to consider in the future. Thank you so much for attending and enjoy the rest of your day. Hi everybody and welcome to this student live talk at Anglia Ruskin University. My name's Amy and today I'm going to be delivering this talk for you guys, tell you a little bit about what it's like to be a student at university. Okay, so a little bit about me. As I said, my name's Amy, and I'm studying a course called sociology. So I'm not sure if you've heard of the course sociology before. Some people do it at GCSE, some people do it at A level, and you could also do it at a college. So basically, it's the study of the social sciences. It's really interesting, a really broad subject. You talk about things like crime, class, gender, loads of different things, all that happen in society. So I'm originally from a village called Heacham in Norfolk, but now I live here in Cambridge where I'm doing my degree. Okay, so choosing my course. So to decide what I wanted to do at university, it was difficult at first because I wasn't 100% sure. I definitely knew I wanted to study, but I wasn't 100% at the time. So when I was at the college in King's Lynn, I studied A levels. I studied film, media, and sociology. And at first, I thought I wanted to go into media and film, but upon doing my A levels and going into my second year, I wasn't really sure that was something I wanted to do, and I decided to look at sociology. So I actually went on a school trip to Anglia Ruskin, a college trip, sorry, and I just absolutely fell in love with the idea of doing sociology, and that is why I decided to choose it. So my journey to Anglia Ruskin. So as I said, I've always wanted to go to university. It's something that no one really in my family has done, but I knew it was something I definitely wanted to. So I did have a lot of concerns because, like I said, no one I really knew had gone to university before. So I wasn't really sure what it was like or what to expect. And obviously, like things like money, you're concerned about how the student loans work and things like that. However, when I went to like open days and like visits to Anglia Ruskin, they kind of reassured me with all these things, and obviously all the information up on UCAS, where you apply to university and all those kinds of things. So it kind of smoothed out any concerns that I had. And as I said in the previous slide, the reason I came to ARU was because of that college trip. I just really loved the vibe of the place, basically. Um, yeah, it wasn't too big, but it wasn't too small, and it was still close to my hometown. So back in like first and second year, I could easily go home and visit home if I wanted to. And that especially came in handy in first year when I was like struggling to settle in a little bit. So I knew I could go home if I wanted to. Um, but yeah, I absolutely love Cambridge. It's a wonderful city, and I'm so glad that I've settled here now. So, what is it like to study at university? So, as I said a little while ago, studying my subject, it is similar in a way to what you might do at A level sociology or in a college course, but it's basically just like amplified. It's a bit more in detail. You'll read things such as journal articles or book chapters, and that will really help with your understanding of things. Managing my time. So I'm only, well, pre COVID, when I was going into face to face teaching, I was only in maybe 2 or 3 days a week. So I actually had a lot of free time to be able to do everything that I needed to. Now, obviously, sometimes having too much free time, you tend to procrastinate a bit. We all love Netflix, so sometimes it can be hard, but you've just got to really try your hardest to, have a bit of a timetable so you know when you're going to be doing your work and when you're going to be relaxing. And through the 3 years that I've been at university, I've really learned to kind of hone that in so it's perfect for me now. So independent study, there is a lot of independent study at university. You do go in and you are taught. So you have things such as lectures and seminars. So you might not know what a lecture and seminar is. Basically, a lecture is usually something that lasts 1 or 2 hours. You'll have your lecturer or your tutor right at the front with a big screen with your like PowerPoint presentation on, and he or she will just go through all the slides. You'll make notes, and there's not really much conversation or necessarily. It depends on your style of what your lecturer likes. Usually, it's more just them delivering the information. Then you'll go into a seminar, which will be smaller classroom type things that you might be used to now, potentially with only like 10 people in it, and you'll have, or 15 people, and you'll have conversations, you'll have debates, especially for sociology. It's a very debating subject, so you'll have lots of that. And you'll also be able to do like teamwork and things like that. So if you have a group project, you would maybe do it in that time. So yeah, finally, being in a new city with new surroundings, Yeah, that was a weird one coming from little Norfolk and then coming to a city such as Cambridge, but I'm so glad I did. I do love the city life, and it's Cambridge isn't necessarily the city you would expect, like, like London with it is busy, but there's a lot of green spaces, which I really, really enjoy about the place. It is fast paced, but probably not as fast paced as you'd expect with some cities, so you can chill a little bit. So what's it like to study with the COVID-19 situation? Um, last trimester, so from September to December, we had the choice of online or blended face-to-face and online learning. So now for this trimester, from at least up until February, we are just having online learning with the new rules in place. So before we did have the choice to go on campus once a week, but obviously with the new rules with the government, it's only the medical students going in, which is fine. It is what it is at the end of the day. We've all got to keep safe, and as I'm sure you guys are getting used to the online learning now, it is just the way it is. You've got to get used to all the new online platforms, so things like Microsoft Teams or Zoom, even how this is being delivered today for you guys. This is all pre-recorded. It's not like it normally would, where we'd come into schools and colleges and different universities giving these talks, and I'd be at the front chatting away. So it is a little bit different, but you've just got to get used to it, and it is just the situation at the moment. However, ARU have been really good with everything, really trying to stay safe, trying to make sure that we're getting all the online learning that we can, and just making the best out of the situation, really. So this is an example timetable for sociology. This was my timetable last trimester, so the September to December term. So on a Wednesday, I would go in for a face-to-face group tutorial. It did start at 8 o'clock in the morning, which sounds really, really early. Not we don't always start 8 o'clock again because of the COVID situation. These 4 hour blocks were being delivered throughout the day for people that wanted to go face to face. However, sometimes our lecturers knew it was really early, so they'd sometimes start it at 9 or half 9, just so that we got at least a little bit of the lie-in. And then Thursdays and Fridays, I had online lectures slash seminars, but it was just one big lecture. And yeah, that all worked fine. I had my Monday and Tuesday free to myself. It's kind of like a long weekend. Obviously, still doing my studying and things. Especially now in my third year, I'm doing a thing called a dissertation, which is this like big project that you do at the end of the year, at the end of your 3 years of studying. So it's a big thing. You sometimes, if you do lab work with it in the science subjects, sometimes with the art subjects, you'll do like a project in that sense. But for me, it's like writing a really big essay where I get to do my own research and talk to people and do interviews and surveys. So it's a really fun and exciting thing. Won't have to worry about that too much if you start university. But yeah, it's a really exciting thing you get to do right at the end. So a day in the life of me doing sociology. So I popped a couple of examples up on here. So like I said, last trimester I would go on campus on a Wednesday. So I'd leave for the house, have my tutorial, and then I've just included a couple of things I would do with my day. So, for example, we've started doing dance workouts in the house just to get a bit of exercise in with everything being closed and things. So, just means that we get a bit of exercise and something to do as a group, and then hanging out with housemates. Having games, having movie nights, having a few drinks and things. It's just nice to be able to be with them and to relax, because at university, of course, you need to do your studying and your readings, and there is a lot of work to do, but you've also got to make time to relax and make sure you're eating properly and you're getting your exercise and things like that, because if you do all these all round things, hopefully it will make you a better student in the future, because you need to have some time to relax, basically. I've found can't spend all night doing your assignments. So, independence. So, you finally made it to university, and now you've got to be independent. You've got to manage your money, manage meeting new people, and it can seem scary, but it is super exciting. So, you get to meet new housemates, you get to socialize. Obviously, those things have been a little bit different this year, especially for the first years. They necessarily haven't been able to have their freshers' week of going out clubbing and things like that. But fingers crossed, things like that will be back to normal in September when university starts again. So at university, you can also join clubs and societies. So me and a few of my friends have actually made a society this year called the ARU Mental Wellbeing Society for Cambridge. And basically, we didn't see something like this at the uni, so we decided why not make it. And the Students' Union, which manages the clubs and societies, have been amazing at helping us with that. And we're going to be getting funding. We're going to be putting on some online quizzes, things like that. So it's just another way to keep contact with people and just to cheer up and make everyone's day, basically. You can also join sports teams. So you've got the option to join sports teams and compete competitively against other universities, or you can do the more fun, relaxed sessions, which I actually did last year with netball. I love playing netball. I'm just not the best at it, so I didn't want to join the team, but I still really wanted to play it. So I decided to join the kind of more fun, relaxed session, which was once a week. Learning to cook, that's a big thing. Just learn at least a few basic pasta recipes and you will be okay. Yeah, don't boil pasta without water. I've seen it done. It doesn't end well. Always use water. Just make sure you get your parents or guardians, get them to show you a few recipes. Buy a cookbook for students. There's plenty out there on Amazon, and yeah, you will be fine. Takeaways are great, but money will go down quickly if you keep ordering from Uber. And finally, bills and budgeting. So in your first year, you might live in a place called halls of residence where you won't have bills. Everything will be included in one price. However, I now live in a student house, so I also have to manage bills as well as paying a rent and things like Wi-Fi and things like that. So budgeting is really important. Again, there's loads of guidance online. You can get help from your banks. And again, parents and guardians, they probably know how to manage money better than anyone. So talk to them, and just even if you get a little notebook and you're just writing down what you're spending and things like that, that can be really, really helpful when you come to university. So accommodation, I've already mentioned a couple of bits about accommodation, so I'll be brief here. But you've got the halls of residence, shared housing, and you've got the choice to actually commute to university. So as I said, I now live in a shared house. This is my second year living here in Cambridge. I live about 5 minutes away from uni, so it's really convenient and easy to get to. You've also got the choice of living in halls. So for the Cambridge campus, there are loads and loads of choices. I lived in a halls called CB1, which was just opposite the train station. So it was about a 20-minute walk from university, which for me, that was perfect. It was nice just having being a little bit further away. But you can live directly on campus. So you can literally roll out of bed 5 minutes before your lecture, which is great if you like your lie-in. You've also got the choice to commute to university. So if you're living perhaps not too far away, or you decide you're not ready to move out yet, you might want to stay at home or not be financially ready. That is all fine. You can just commute to university. You can get trains. There's park and rides by Trumpington, I believe. So there are loads of options that you can look into, and all of these can be found on like the Anglia Ruskin website. So you can find out extra information when you decide, or if you decide to come to university. So then it's finally time to move in, and yeah, you've got welcome week, you got your freshers fair again. Those things have been very different this year, but still, the Students' Union put on loads of events online, of course, but still events so you could do things. Your courses start. You've got to get involved with everything. You know, you can start joining societies, things like that. And one of my biggest tips is try to get involved in stuff, but don't necessarily put too much on your shoulders. Especially when you first start university, it's a lot to get used to, a new style of learning potentially, all these different things. And if you join loads and loads of clubs and societies, and that's great, but you also need to make sure you're managing your time so you don't get too overwhelmed. And finally, student discounts, use them. Honestly, get an NUS card, log into uni days. You have to use student discounts because they will go far. ASOS, if you like shopping on ASOS, you get your 10%, sometimes even 20. So it's really handy. A good perk to come into university, you get your student discounts. Okay, so I've been talking loads now, so I'm just going to give you my final words. My future after graduation. So I have delivered this student life talk quite a few times now, and every time I'm getting closer and closer to graduation. I'm graduating this year. This summer, I will have completed my degree. And by God, that is terrifying. But super exciting. I'm actually doing a master's next year. So I'm staying at Anglia Ruskin for another year because I don't want to leave yet. I've enjoyed university so much that I don't want to go. So I'm doing another year of studying. A master's is basically, it's a postgraduate course that you can do after your 3 years or 4 years of your course. And it's just an extra level of study, slightly higher up than your 3 year course that you'll do beforehand. But yeah, I'm just so excited to do it. And after that, who knows? I've got a few job ideas, but we will just have to see what happens. But anyway, thank you everyone for coming and listening to this talk. I know I've waffled on for ages and that's loads of information, but I hope it was helpful, and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you. Bye.